Alright, this video we're going to start the law of cosine, which is in 6.2. Very first thing you can see, these are the cases that we use law of cosine. If you're given all three sides in the triangle, or if you're given side angle side. Now it's very important if you do side angle side that this angle is in between the two sides. Otherwise it's side angle, which you would have to use law of sine. Now you can see these are the formulas that we use. This is law of cosine right here. Okay, you don't have to memorize these. You will be given them. The main thing to remember, the cosine, like this is uppercase A, uppercase B, uppercase C. So that means it's the angle measure in the triangle. Okay, let's just do the first one. And let's draw the first one out. So let's move this right here. So if I draw the first one, if I draw the triangle, okay, I have A is 52 degrees. So let's make this 52 degrees. Okay, let's say this is A, let's say this is B, this is C. There's the angle measures. Let's say little b is 6. And let's say little c is 8. So little c is right across from angle C. So you can see we have side and angle and then a side. The angle's in between the two sides. So we have side angle side. So since it's side angle side, I have to use law of cosine. I don't use law of sine. Well, if you look, we're given angle A. Since we're given angle A, if I go up to the formulas, well, it's pretty obvious I have to use this formula. I'm going to use that first formula right there. So if I use that, I don't know what A squared is. So that's really what I'm going to solve for. Okay, this B squared, I make it 6 squared. Then I have plus C squared, so it's plus 8 squared. And then minus 2 times B, which is 6. Times C, which is 8, and then times the cosine, and angle A is 52 degrees. Now the good thing about this with side angle side, you could just take this whole expression and put it in exactly how it's written. Put it in your TI spot. In fact, I'm going to do that right now to see what we get. You can do it all in one shot. Some of them aren't as easy as this. So I'm putting in, let's see here, 6 squared plus 8 squared minus 2 times 6 and then times 8 and then times the cosine of 52 degrees. Make sure you are in degree mode. So when I put that in, this is what I wind up getting. I still have a squared, and you wind up getting this long ugly decimal. It's like 40.8965. And then to get little a, just take the square root of each side. So when we take the square root of that, we wind up getting little a. I'm going to round this to the nearest tenth. This is about 6.4. So let's take little a. I'm going to put this in. I'll put this in red since I already know it. A is 6.4. Now there's only two things I have to find, angle B and angle C. Well, now another way to look at it is I have side, angle. So rather than use law of cosine, that's a much more difficult formula to work with. Now I can use law of sine. So you're going to see if you have to use law of cosine, you only use it once, and then you can use law of sine. So let's say I want to find this. Let's say I want to find angle B. So let's move this up. Let's do a little bit more, give you a little bit more space. Okay, so if I want to find this, if I want to find angle B, I'm going to use law of sine because now I have side angle. So what I have now, I have the A's. So I can say 6.4 over the sine of A, which is 52 degrees. That equals, let's say little b is 6, and then we'll say it's over the sine of B. Let's see, when you cross multiply, you're going to get 6.4 times the sine of B. Equals, that's this cross product, equals this cross product of 6 times the sine of 52. And to get sine of B by itself, just divide both sides by 6.4, that cancels. Divide this by 6.4. So I'm going to put this up here, sine of B equals, and I'm going to take this whole thing, throw it right into the calculator, see what it gives me. So let's do the 6 times the sine of 52 and then I'm going to divide it by 6.4. And this winds up giving us like 0.73876. So then take the inverse sine of that. So B equals the inverse sine of that 0.73876. Okay, when we do that, let's see here, right? Inverse sine of the 0.73876. And we wind up getting angle B to be about 47.6 degrees. Okay, now we have that. I'm going to put 47.6 in there. Then to get angle C, well, angle C is real easy. Okay, let's do a little bit more, give you a little bit more space. Angle C, well, it's got to be, angle A, B, and C have to add up to 180. So it's just 180 minus the sum of angle B, which is 47.6, plus angle A, which is 52. So if we do that 180 minus 47.6 and minus 52, we wind up getting angle C to equal 80.4 degrees. Alright, so main thing you got out of this, if you have to use law of cosine, just use that once, and then you can use law of sine, and then just use the fact that all three angles have to add up to 180 degrees.